before I drift off.
Hi guys, my name is Nako Nakatsuka. I'm a fourth year chemistry PhD student at UCLA, and today I'll be helping you guys out by going over some general chemistry concepts. And good luck with the course. In calculations and what percentage yield is, we can do this problem where it asks what is the theoretical yield of MgCl2 or magnesium chloride. They give you this equation: magnesium hydroxide plus hydrochloric acid goes to magnesium chloride plus water, and they very nicely balanced it for you already. And they tell you that you start out with 50.6 grams of magnesium hydroxide and 45 grams of the HCl. And we want to know the theoretical yield of magnesium chloride. Okay, so we start out in the same way that we did before. I'm going to go through this a little faster than before. What's the molar mass of magnesium hydroxide? It's 58.3 grams per mole. For HCl, it is 36.5 grams per mole. We end up with 0.868 moles of magnesium hydroxide and 1.23 moles of the hydrochloric acid. Now from here, we know that for every 1 mole of magnesium hydroxide, we have 2 moles of HCl. So let's multiply this guy by 2 and say that we need 1.74 moles of HCl for every 1 mole of magnesium hydroxide. In this case, we only have 1.23 moles of the hydrochloric acid, so this guy is the limiting reactant. So now that we figure that out, we now use this number of moles to figure out the number of moles of magnesium chloride. So we have 1.23 moles of HCl, but for every 2 moles of HCl, we only get 1 mole of magnesium chloride. So we have to multiply this by moles of magnesium chloride over, 2 moles of HCl. And then we also have to multiply it by the molar mass of MgCl2, which is 95.3 grams per mole. And now this gives us the theoretical yield in grams of magnesium chloride. Let's make sure that all of the units cancel out, the moles HCl, the moles of magnesium chloride, and we end up with grams of magnesium chloride. 58.6 grams of magnesium chloride. Awesome, so this is the theoretical yield, basically the maximum amount that you can get in this reaction given this amount of magnesium hydroxide and this amount of hydrochloric acid. But suppose in this problem, they also told you that in a reaction, a chemist actually obtained 55.4 grams of MgCl2. So as you can see, what they obtained in the experiment is slightly lower than what we got for the theoretical yield, which is expected. So now let's calculate the percentage yield. And this is 55.4 grams, which is the actual yield, over the theoretical yield, 58.6 grams, times 100 to make it a percentage, and we end up with 94.5%. So this is a pretty good experiment because the chemist actually ended up getting approximately 95% of what they should have gotten. And so that's a very straightforward theoretical yield problem as well as a limiting reactant problem. And so now I hope that you know how to do a full problem in this chapter.
I came so close to the edge of inferno.